This is QTV News and I am Umudu Gajaga. Thank you very much for joining us. Coming up first in our headlines. As the Gambia's tourist season officially opened on Friday with a flight from the United Kingdom, we look at the prospects for the Gambia's tourist sector in the face of great expectations and challenges. Officials at the Ministry for Transport and the OIC Gambia Secretariat have expressed satisfaction with the progress of work at the under-construction OIC VVIP lounge at the airport during a site visit on Saturday. In commemoration of the International Day of Rural Women, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Fatou Kinte, underscored the essential role rural women and girls play in the Gambia's food systems. The Gambia Organization for the Visually Impaired, GOVI, commemorated Worldwide Cane Safety Day on Saturday to celebrate the achievements of people who are blind or visually impaired and the importance of the cane. An art exhibition featuring the work of only women was organized by Key Art Gallery to promote women artists. Those were the main news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. The Gambia's tourist season officially opened on Friday with a flight from the United Kingdom. Tourism officials look forward to a 50% improvement from last year's tourist arrival with dozens of flights per week. QTV's Mahmoud Lamin Choi was at the airport and he has been looking at the prospects for the Gambia's tourist sector in the face of great expectations and challenges.
The arrival of 164 tourists from the United Kingdom officially marked the opening of the Gambia's tourist season. Many of these tourists are repeat visitors who are happy to be back in the Gambia for their holidays.
Carol, but I'm a resident here.
My name is James Wilshire. I'm very happy to come here. I've been coming for 15 years and it's a fantastic country.
Prior to the pandemic, tourism in the Gambia was starting to rebound from a slump, with arrivals rising from 203,642 in 2018 to 235,710 in 2019. Last year, the Gambia recorded less than half that number, with just over 102,000 tourists, a 15% increase from 2020. Excited and optimistic, officials of the Gambia Tourism Board have great expectations for this season. Abubakar Kamara is the Director General of the Gambia Tourism Board.
Well, I feel very much proud and happy that at least the fruits of our labor is coming to light. We are expecting about 20 flights per week, from charter flights, I mean. That is only the charter flights. For the scheduled flights, we are expecting about 33 flights per week. Altogether, about 53 flights 1 week.
The tourism sector is the largest foreign exchange earner for the Gambia, accounting for roughly 20% of GDP. The COVID-19 pandemic led to global travel restrictions and the closure of the hospitality industry. Official figures report that the Gambia's tourism sector lost $108 million, with a further $57.9 million of tax revenue lost by government. As business rebounds, government has some tasks to prevent revenue leakage in the tourism industry. Karamo Tamba works for a major tour operator, Gambia Experience.
That is something that the government needs to work on because there are lots of private houses in town that don't pay tax. They only pay compound rates. And unfortunately, lots of our tourists go and stay in those houses and, instead of staying in the hotels.
Diversifying the tourism industry has dominated recent conversations among tourism sector stakeholders. In July this year, the Gambia received a $68 million grant from the World Bank, which, among other things, aims to diversify the tourism industry. Umisisa Sala is the manager of Discovery Tours in the Gambia.
It's a shame after decades of tourism, and as the pioneer of tourism in Africa, that now other tourism destinations in Africa are ahead of us. We have to really move away from the sun, sea and sand. We have a lot of potential that we need to exploit. So let us fully exploit ourselves.
This season, we might see fewer tourists from Scandinavian countries following the decision in August by Nordic Leisure Travel Group a leading tour operator that brings tourists to the Gambia from Denmark, Sweden and Norway, to cancel its winter operations in the Gambia. In an email seen by QTV, the tour operator mainly blames the slow pace of recovery from the pandemic, the impact of the Russia-Ukraine war, and the higher costs and increased passenger tax payable at Banjul International Airport. The operators say this has caused low demand and bookings for destination Gambia. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
The Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Asilla, and CEO of the OIC Gambia Secretariat, Yankuba Diba, have expressed satisfaction with the progress of work at the under-construction OIC VVIP lounge at the airport in Yundum. They were speaking following a visit to the project site with OIC Gambia Secretariat officials. More in this report by Ansumane Sunyasi.
This visit by the Minister and senior OIC Gambia Secretariat officials is part of routine inspection of ongoing project sites by officials to assess progress. Following a visit to the VVIP lounge under construction at the airport, the Minister for Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Ibrahim Asilla, and the OIC Gambia Secretariat CEO, Yankuba Diba, expressed optimism with the progress of works. Nonetheless, they implored the contractor to accelerate works to complete the project within the agreed time.
As far as the government of the Gambia is concerned, we are extremely very happy with the progress of work, and we are hopeful that by end of December 2022 this project would be completed and then ready to be handed over to the government of the Gambia. It shows the seriousness first on the part of the government, our consultants and the contractor, to ensure that there is timely delivery.
It has been a source of delight since this project started, that each time we come, they are not only on track, but then we see the work progressing with huge satisfaction. And the countdown to the summit begins. And since this is the gateway to the outside world, it's really, really warming that this project is really making us really proud. It's going to be one of the very first projects that will be completed by the end of the year.
The project manager, Ayman Mashouri, who took the officials on a tour of the facility, says they expect to complete the work and hand over the project to central government at least by the end of the year.
As you can see, we are above 65% progress of works already constructed within the materials that they are already delivered. And inshallah, by the end of this year, we will be able to finish all the works, and then we can proceed for sure, inshallah, for the handing over of the building. Meanwhile, at the Coastal Road intersection, where work for the construction of a flyover has commenced, Ibrahim Acham, engineering consultant, and Mamoudou Senghor, managing director of the National Roads Authority, assured officials of quality work and timely delivery of the project.
So having an overpass here will definitely help with the flow of traffic, because basically what it will mean is that the traffic that is coming from the airport, which doesn't have any need to go to Sincho or anywhere near here, they can just continue. So it will really help in terms of the movement of traffic here.
Quality, yes, you can be rest assured, because we've upgraded to this road from the original design where it was one asphalt layer. And now we have, double layer. That's what we are going to build, not only for strength issues, but also for ease of maintenance.
Among the key priority projects of the OIC is the construction of the VVIP lounge and a 22-kilometer road stretching from the airport junction through Battle Haring Highway to Sting Corner, and the construction of 20 new roads within the Greater Banjul area. Among other things, the roads are expected to improve traffic circulation leading to and around the Salauda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center in anticipation of the summit. Answane Sonyasi for QTV News.
In commemoration of International Day of Rural Women, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Fatou Kinte, underscored the essential role rural women and girls play in the Gambia's food systems. Lena E. Igwenyiba has the details.
International Day of Rural Women is commemorated annually on the 15th of October and is dedicated to women living in remote rural places to celebrate their achievements and contributions to rural development and agriculture. Fatou Kinte, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, spoke of the invaluable role of rural women in ensuring food security for their communities.
October 15 globally is the day that has been set aside to recognize the important role and contributions of rural women in improving agricultural and rural development, food security, and rural poverty eradication. It is therefore important that I commence this goodwill message by recognizing the enormous role that rural women and girls have continuously contributed towards national development.
According to a 2022 report by UNICEF, world hunger is high as 828 million in 2021, following a sharp upturn in 2020 in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister Kinte calls the world's attention to the hunger prevalence, especially in Africa.
In Africa, it is stated that hunger affected 278 million people in 2021, which is 20.2% of the population. The hunger prevalence is therefore highest in Africa and Asia. As projected by FAO, more than 670 million people may still be hungry in 2030, which is far from the zero hunger target.
Minister Kinte explains how her ministry is making an impact through President Barrow's Women's Enterprise Fund initiative.
In the past few months, we have reallocated funds to productive sectors through the Women Enterprise Fund to ensure healthy diets and more affordable, more sustainable, and leave no one behind. The Women Enterprise Fund, initiated by His Excellency President Adama Barrow since its inception in 2019, has given women access to microfinance credits for their sustainable livelihoods. So far, we have disbursed $21,420,000 to 257 women's groups, benefiting 38,550 women across the country.
In supporting and celebrating the strength and achievements of rural women in the sustainability of rural households, Minister Kinte reassures women, especially rural women, of her ministry's commitment to empowering them.
In the process of addressing this food insecurity, we will continue to enhance rural women's access to equal economic opportunities through a market-driven approach that will target the most vulnerable in their communities. We will further establish fruits and vegetable cooperatives for women made up of beneficiaries from the Women's Enterprise Fund under the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare.
Beyond caring for children, older persons and the sick, rural women also play a critical role in rural economies, despite the struggles and the stereotypes they must overcome. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwenyiba.
The report there takes us to a commercial break, and when we return, we still have more for you. Do stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Wait, LG, thank you. Yup, thanks to LG ThinQ, I can operate and get cycle updates from my AIDD front-load washing machine without even stepping foot in the laundry room. I can be busy with rehearsals on a conference call and still do my laundry, or watching series glued to my couch and too lazy to get up. My life made easy with LG ThinQ.
Have you heard about Platinum Properties?
No, what's that?
Well, Platinum Properties is a real estate agency located at Sukuta Traffic Lights on the Turntable Highway, selling the best located lands with amazing deals. From our Sifo Gunjur housing to Sanyang housing to Tujareng Faces and many other perfect locations, as well as individual plots suitable for you. Get away from the noisy and crowded streets and buy your dream home with us in these beautiful and peaceful locations. We have many dimensions available for you, from 21 by 25 to 21 by 20, 19 by 19 to 25 by 25, and many other different dimensions to suit your needs. With flexible payment plans, whether it is a mortgage payment or not, we've got you covered.
Oh, wow. Thank you. I'll visit them.
Reach now to Platinum Properties to get the best deal. For more information, call us on 397-1669 or 760-5414. Platinum Properties, your best choice for your dream home.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us from wherever you are around the world. This is QTV News. The Gambia Organization for the Visually Impaired, GOVI, commemorated Worldwide Cane Day, Safety Day on Saturday to celebrate the achievements of people who are blind or visually impaired and the important symbol of blindness and a tool of independence. Babakar Sise tells us more.
White cane is an essential tool for the visually impaired, whether at work, school, around their homes, or in the streets. Gaira Lamin, the treasurer, a teacher and braille technician at GOVI, underscores the importance of the white cane to the visually impaired.
As you all know, blind people, they have to move freely without any hindrance, and they also have families. They also have other issues to do, other transactions. And in order not to be disturbance, or in order not to disturb others, as other blind people, some of them, they have children, they have relatives, they will use their relative to be guiding them. So, but this white cane, with the usage of this white cane, it will also provide independent movement for blind people.
The day is commemorated to inform motorists, cyclists and pedestrians of the importance of the cane and to remind decision makers about the plight of the visually impaired. Despite the importance of the cane, Mr. Lamin highlights its scarcity and how a GOVI member met his untimely death in a road traffic accident.
In 1997, we celebrated the cane in 1997. After the celebration, all of a sudden, one of our visually impaired persons was crossing Jimpex. Accidentally, he came across with a car which smashed off the head. And then, he died instant. And that you can understand that day we were even celebrating the day. Canes are not available. For GOVI, we do, whenever we have projects, we inbuilt it in the project so that we will be able to have. But it's not much. Sometimes the maximum is only 200 and something, 150. Sometimes we do have it from philanthropics, but still it's not available. If I can tell you, for almost 2-3 years we don't have canes. Every visually impaired people should have this cane so that it will be generally recognized, especially the drivers. I mean, whenever you raise your cane, they consider less about you.
Visually impaired people in the Gambia want the government, the private sector and councils to give them more opportunities and create a conducive environment for their mobility. Mr. Lamin again.
I mean, open gutters. Some of them, they do enter the gutter. These gutters around Jimpex and whatsoever should be covered. Should be covered, not only for blind people. Other sighted people also can enter into. And especially when there is rainy season. And the government also have to encourage employment. Although, alhamdulillah, for the education sector, blind people are doing teaching. But for other sectors also, they should do the same. Because, I mean, employment, being blind doesn't mean that you are inability to do certain people work. So what happened is that, I mean, we have to be inclusive in all sectors.
The aim of White Cane Safety Day is to educate the world about blindness and how the blind and visually impaired can live and work independently while giving back to their communities, and to honor the many contributions being made by the blind and visually impaired. Babakar Sise, QTV News.
An art exhibition featuring the work of only women was organized by Key Art Gallery to promote women artists. Jennifer Sonko was there and Sina reports.
In many countries, including the Gambia, patriarchal societies, cultural and economic structures have hampered the formal recognition of women artists until recently. This is the first time in the Gambia that an art exhibition has been solely dedicated to women to showcase their talents, highlight their struggles and celebrate their resilience. The idea came from Abdoulaye Conte, the founder of Key Art Gallery, which is the vision of Gambians to promote art and artistic expression.
Kept my vision and dream as an artist throughout my life and never hid my treasure from the world. I had my first exhibition when I opened the gallery. And we had a lot of opportunities to be able to help young Gambians to be able to showcase what they do and showcase their works. And this is what the backbone of the Key Art, what the Key Art Gallery is.
The All Women's Art Exhibition is supported by the U.S. Embassy in the Gambia through its grant support programs. This is what the U.S. Ambassador Sharon El Koroma had to say to the women artists.
When we walked in and we saw the beautiful art on the wall, because I had been to Key Art a few times, and it didn't look like this. This is beautiful. What you've done, the artists here, is wonderful. I can see your stories in your art.
One of the artists, Ndefatu Sisa, says, as a woman in a patriarchal society, women have different struggles, and these deserve to be highlighted.
Inspiration is the struggle of women, but not as in, I would say the triumph and victory through the struggle of women.
Zainabu Balde started painting when she was 14 years old and describes her journey as hectic but very rewarding. She says painting is a very natural part of her, as whenever she quits, she comes back. This is her opinion on being a painter in the Gambia.
Honestly, I don't think it's for everyone. And there's some people, they used to the same style they've always seen. And there's some people that are quite hungry and eager to see something different, something so out of the blue. And I think there's a market always, but it depends on who's buying. Because not everyone can maybe afford the art, and that's understandable. But it doesn't, like, I wouldn't say they don't support it, they just have moods. But it is unfortunate that we are more supported by the tourists.
The Key Art Gallery is open to the public to view the work of creative artists. Generally, Gambians are not in the habit of buying paintings, which affects the growth of local artists. Unless this changes, Gambian artists will find it difficult to pursue painting as a career. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Bosonko.
International Day for Older Persons was commemorated on Saturday by the National Human Rights Commission in collaboration with the Gambia Association of Resident Doctors and Partners. Lena E. Igwenyiba again.
The International Day for Older Persons is observed on October 1st annually. Among other things, older persons are very important in families as ideal mentors. From all the experiences they have accumulated over the years, they can judge the situation and give constructive advice to their children or grandchildren. They can also play an important role in solving disputes among the family members. Yvonne Masarakufa, representing the United Nations Resident Coordinator, speaks on the significance of the day.
We commemorate this day to appreciate older persons in our midst, and also to highlight and advocate for their plight in terms of the issues and the challenges that they face. We know that they face challenges including stigma and discrimination, in some cases abuse, some cases neglect. We also know that in many cases they do not have access to adequate health care.
Older people are sources of inspiration, wisdom and storytelling, yet there are many misconceptions attached to aging. Jaina Bajam, Vice Chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, highlighted the Commission's role in ensuring all persons enjoy their human rights.
The TRRC, a lot of you follow the TRRC. There was all this issue about witchcraft. Who were those affected? They were older women. Because in our society, we know in some communities, and up to date, once you go beyond 80, 90 years, you are termed Doma. The word Doma in brackets, which, why is she still alive? She should have died. By the time you get to 100, just don't touch anybody's child. They think you are there to eat the child. So I'm just saying a bit of humor out of it, but really it should be a source for concern. And that's why our institution mandated to promote and protect human rights feel we should, with other partners, step up and make sure the rights of elderly persons are protected, not only by talking about it, but making sure that government comes up with the right policies to protect them.
In 2019, the number of people globally aged 60 years and older was 1 billion. This number will increase to 1.4 billion by 2030 and 2.1 billion by 2050. according to the World Health Organization. Haruna S. Jallo, president of Chosan Medical Foundation, highlights the importance of caring for older people.
Sensitize the general population on how we should handle this elderly. And then I think it's well appreciated, and I think as medical personnel this is something that we need to do, because today we are young, but tomorrow we might be at their stage. And then if we have to pass through those things, then it's going to be something that none of us will want.
Today's commemoration included free medical screening by the Chosan Medical Foundation and the Gambia Association of Resident Doctors for diabetes, hypertension, and eye refraction for older people. On this day, we wish older persons a happy Older Persons Day, and may you grow even older. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwinyiba.
I must say, more love to older persons. We love our grandmothers and our grandfathers. May you continue to live long. Before we end this news bulletin, let's have a recap of our news headlines. As the Gambia's tourist season officially opened on Friday with a flight from the United Kingdom, we look at the prospects for the Gambia's tourist sector in the face of great expectations and challenges. Officials at the Ministry for Transport and the OIC Gambia Secretariat have expressed satisfaction with the progress of work at the under-construction OIC VVIP lounge at the airport during a site visit on Saturday. In commemoration of International Day of Rural Women, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Fatou Kinte, underscored the essential role rural women and girls play in the Gambia's food systems. The Gambia Organization for the Visually Impaired, GOVI, commemorated Worldwide Cane Safety Day on Saturday to celebrate the achievements of people who are blind or visually impaired and the importance of the cane. An art exhibition featuring work of only women was organized by Key Art Gallery to promote women artists. That's all we have in this edition of QTV News. Thank you very much for watching. Join us tomorrow and have a pleasant weekend. Thank you.